Welcome back to Uplink. As always, we are your number one, only place really, to find the gaming news and all the latest reveals and trailers where we sometimes have those things. And I'm Andrew, and hi, and how's it going?
Hi, I'm Roy Ogletree. Welcome to the internet.
That was a good intro.
That was a great intro.
Thanks. All right, cool. We've got all kinds of news to cover this week. Some EVO 2022 announcements.
We're sitting down.
Yeah. Just a little stylistic change. You guys love it. Most of you only listen to us anyways.
Right.
Some of you don't even listen or watch. You just turn it on and mute it as a
And that's fine. We'll take your view.
I appreciate your show of support and lack of enthusiasm.
Sony announces.
Yeah, so hold on. I'm going to go through and do all the little timestamp things.
Oh.
So we got EVO 2022 news. We've got a whole bunch of EA stuff to talk about. Call of Duty plans for 2023 after it was talked about that they were going to be skipping 2023. More Activision Blizzard drama. New Pokemon stuff that was revealed today. And a new game from the developers of Dead by Daylight. And then we're going to get into our main topic for today, which is talking about games that should definitely be forced together into a glorious fusion of extra goodness. Mm-hmm. But we'll get to that in a minute. So first up, Sony announced that
the ketchup and mayonnaise of they sell in
the Mayup.
Mayup, is it?
Metchup? KO?
KO?
KO.
You're right. Anyway, sorry.
So Sony announced that, for those of you who don't know, Sony bought EVO a couple years back. So now Sony hosts EVO, which is the premier fighting esport tournament. So pretty much all the big names in fighting games will be there. Capcom, WarnerBros, the guys that do like Arc System Works and stuff, that do like the Guilty Gear series and all those kinds of games. And then probably Nintendo also, though to a lesser degree most of the time. But they announced that there will actually be some announcements this year. So they announced that there will be announcements.
Love an announcement for an announcement.
For them to announce a teaser that will then be teasing the announcement.
It's a committee on committees. I love it.
Ed Boon has confirmed that while Warner Bros. Will be present, they'll likely be talking about multiverses or something else. Mortal Kombat is not going to be making an appearance there, despite rumors that Mortal Kombat 12 is already in development, which I'm certain that it is. It may just not be ready to be shown yet, and typically they do their reveals for that game in December.
Smash Bros won't be there either?
Smash Bros definitely won't be there. For one,
right.
Sakurai's trying to get some sleep, and if you ask him to make more Smash Bros content, he will stab you, probably. If I had to guess, I mean, there's like over 100 characters in that game. He needs a nap. Like, hard. He needs a...
With Link's sword, he may stab you.
Yeah, which he definitely has. But I know we'll see more Street Fighter 6. There's been rumblings of a Tekken 8 reveal, which would be cool to see Street Fighter and Tekken competing in the same year. That's kind of another classic rivalry out there.
Yeah.
Between two of the big Japanese fighting games. I'm sure Arc System Works has some cool stuff up their sleeves. Maybe we'll finally get a Dragon Ball FighterZ 2. Could happen. Maybe it won't be all Gokus. Who knows? Or maybe we'll get
Oops, all Gokus.
Or maybe we'll get that game I asked for at the end of the DNF review, where I was asking for a 2.5D Lord of the Rings fighter. Mm-hmm. I'll take it. Let me beat the ever-loving crap out of Gollum as Gandalf. Any day of the week, I would play that.
What an overmatched battle.
But for sure, we'll have to keep an eye out on all that stuff, take a closer look at it whenever it comes, but there's really not much else to say about it.
If you've watched this at all, you know that I'm not a huge platform fighter person, except for Smash Bros.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a little bit of Mortal Kombat for me, but I've never been into Tekken or Street Fighter or anything like that. So people get mad at me in the comments, that's fine. But I think it's cool that there is still a platform for this, rather.
Yeah.
That Sony has kind of kept it alive with the buku dollars that they have.
It feels more, I don't know, the Call of Duty tournaments and all those big, AAA esports tournaments like.
Well, the biggest one is League of Legends, right?
Yeah, League of Legends still has one of the largest winnings pools for sure. But EVO still feels more real to me a lot of the times. Something about the way that it's presented, the way that it comes together, and even though the prize pools are less, there's just so many amazing Evo moments that happen versus like other esports. And I'm not generally into esports in the same way that I'm not generally into sports in general, but there's kind of like with soccer matches for me. There's just something about watching Evo that
You're gonna
that
appreciate
appeals
it.
to me. Yeah, I can really appreciate it and get into it in the moment. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna seek it out most of the time. I mean, I will this year, but normally I wouldn't seek it out. But I do think it's probably the most legitimate feeling esport out there for me. Coming off the back of that announcement, here's a different announcement. EA is trying to really walk back their poorly timed and poor taste tweet about single-player games from a few weeks ago.
Oh, you don't say.
Where they tweeted out, and I quote, "He's a 10, but he only plays single-player games." Like it's a bad thing, even though, and they've previously been caught saying that they think that single-player games are for no one and that they're a lost relic. So that didn't look good. People came out of the
You know the
woodworks
things
being
that they
really
made
mad. Yeah.
their bones off of, like.
Yeah, well, so 76% of their income now is live service games, specifically.
Oh, I understand.
sports
I understand
games.
what it is now. I'm
So
saying
that's what they were talking about whenever they said that originally.
I'm saying that like a large portion of their player base
Yeah,
was playing FIFA before online existed.
Right.
So like.
yeah. I mean, before there was even the option for multiplayer,
Yeah, before
people were playing your games.
There was in person. You remember when you had to meet people in person?
I do that once a week now.
Yeah, right here.
For Weekend Warrior every Saturday.
The thing where you had to go meet people in person to like play a sports game or play Mario Kart or play there was that, but a large portion of EA's player base for 2 generations was playing Dynasty mode, playing career modes and things like that.
Even just setting aside the sports stuff, I mean, Dead Space, Dragon Age, Mass Effect,
Mass Effect's a big one,
Titanfall, Battlefield, all those have benefited from single player stuff.
I always forget that Mass Effect is EA.
Right? And I mean, sometimes they forget too. And so those are all like massive tier single player experiences.
Not to mention they had one of the best selling single player games of the last couple of years.
Yeah.
With Fallen Order.
Fallen Order was
yeah.
The best selling Star Wars game to date, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But I think that they've learned their lesson a little bit. So the CEO has responded to both that and also rumors
Everything's
of an acquisition.
fine. We're
Please
fine.
Don't look over here. Well, and so the rumors about the acquisitions, anyone can inquire about an acquisition at any time, regardless of whether or not that company is actually willing to sell.
Yeah, it was Comcast.
So
correct.
it was Comcast. There was also rumors of Microsoft and Sony looking into purchasing EA. Also rumors of, I lost my train of thought on what the other one was. There's another big tech company. It's not important.
Well, the thing that caught my eye about that, they are, just to go off that, they are now pretty much the, independent's a strong word, but like now they're the biggest sort of standalone studio.
Yeah, well, and so they're the last standalone publisher aside from Ubisoft out there that's really standalone. I mean, Square Enix is still tied heavily to other platform stuff, but I think that the EA stuff is interesting mostly because they said they couldn't be in a stronger position as a standalone company, which is an interesting statement because they've had to push a lot of their stuff back. But they did see profits in the pandemic higher than what most people did. FIFA is the best selling microtransaction-based game in the world.
Yep.
It makes more money than pretty much every other game aside from Fortnite. And even then, it'll give Fortnite a run for its money any day of the week.
And they come out with that game every year.
Yeah, and there are players out there that are willing to spend the money on it every time, all the time. So I think they've gotten kind of to the point where like they can now sustain everything else. The smart move here would be to keep doing that while also reinvigorating your single-player IPs, which is what we've seen them make a stride to do in the last couple of years. So,
and they made a statement about it, basically saying like, "Oh, we have absolute focus on single player."
Yeah, they said it's a really, really important part of their portfolio, and they're not wrong. Some of the most speculatively hyped games out there are these fabled remasters and remakes of these older titles, or even continuations. They announced a Mass Effect sequel to the original Mass Effect trilogy before they even had a single ounce of gameplay to show, which, they did the same thing with Andromeda. Stop doing that. It's a bad, no, don't do that. You can wait. Don't do that. But they typically announce these things ahead of time. So we've gotten kind of a unique appeal from EA in these last couple of years, where they're like, "Hey guys, chill out, all right? We're doing single player, and also, we hear you. You don't think we're transparent enough. So for the Dead Space remake, so that that we're being transparent about its the remake and how much of it's being remade and how it's being remade." We're going to do developer diaries every month that show deep changes to the story, how the lighting is being affected, how the audio is being affected, what the weapons are going to feel like. It's a real change in pace from their more closed, guarded, close to the chest mentality in previous years, where they were like, "I don't want to talk to you about it. What Skate 4? Never heard of it." But we're getting Skate 4.
Yeah, they're releasing
like
pre-alpha footage.
Right, exactly. And I love seeing the janky footage because it shows that they trust us enough to know that that's not what the final product's gonna look like. And I feel like it connects the developers more to people.
Most of us.
Yeah, most of us. But it connects us more with developers as people versus as like corporate shills that people view.
They've released more, "Hey, Skate is coming" content than like anything else from them, and
I will give them the benefit that they have kept Mass Effect's name out the mouths of most everyone. They did that one reveal trailer. They said something on In7 Day last year, and they've done nothing else since. And that's the smart thing to do until you have enough gameplay to make a real trailer, because with that franchise, you don't want to show the
right. There's certain things that you can do that for.
They also hinted at that March will probably bring Jedi Survivor, which would be the sequel to Fallen Order, a game I'm crazy hyped for. So I really hope that ends up being true, and they are planning to release 3 AAA single-player games next year.
I think they're going to remain sort of, like I said, independent. It defines that they're like a smaller studio, like entails that they would be.
Independent just means that you're not beholden to anything.
Right. It's not like they are a major corporation now, but not a monopoly doesn't own them.
Yeah, they're not owned by a large tech giant.
Yeah.
But they're also not on their own a large tech giant. They're just a publisher.
Right. And so I think with that, they still have the right to make a few of these. They botched it with all of the with the Star Wars exclusive license. I will say that. We talked about that before. But with those single player games and the rights to make a few more Jedi games, the rights to like we said, FIFA, NFL, Madden, plus all of that. Plus, I know a lot of people that know me. I'm excited. NCAA football is coming back, and that will make $1 billion.
Yeah.
And I'm not like
a big deal.
It's gonna cost a lot to make. They got to pay players, or at least pay the schools to pay the players.
By the time the game comes out, different players will be in place, and then they'll need to pay for bonus licenses.
It's going to be an interesting sort of. We can do a whole episode on that. It's going to be like a cluster.
For sure, when we get a full announcement on what that game's going to be, we will do a deep dive. We may not even do an Uplink episode. We might do a full deep dive video into what the requirements are from EA in relation to
because they really don't even know yet.
Yeah, it's new. It's brand new, and I think that's why they made the announcement, but they are also very coy to talk about it now.
Right, and I think they got to do this. It's like kind of probably the same stuff that they have in place with the NFL for paying people for their likenesses,
Sure.
but also, like, you're dealing with a whole nother can of worms where you don't want to be breaking the law with paying these kids. And,
and the rules
you
are
can't
different
pay
per
them
state.
directly. Yeah, rules are different per state, per college.
Yeah,
it's just it's a weird situation. But I still believe that EA is going to make $2 billion off of that game because I will be there night one. And if you think that like GameStop and stuff don't have like midnight releases anymore or anything like that,
They won't for this, but Best Buy might.
I'll be at GameStop. No, I'm kidding.
Whether there's a release or not, Royden will be
I will
there
be at
midnight
GameStop
every time.
Let me in. Anyway,
knocking on the door.
yeah, Call of Duty plans for 2023 were leaked.
Yeah, so we had heard at the beginning of the year back, wow, that feels like not the beginning of the year. Back at the beginning of the year, we heard that Microsoft was purchasing Activision Blizzard.
5 more months till Christmas, man.
Man, screw you. Why would you do that to me? My brain already hurts about how much time has passed. My son turns 1 this month.
Dang.
In like 2 weeks. Oh my God.
You gotta do the first birthday party thing. You hadn't even thought about it.
We'll get to it.
Call of Duty, a game he can't play for a while.
Yeah, so I will be playing it. Call of Duty, we had heard back.
I'm talking about your son.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
We had heard that Call of Duty wasn't going to release in 2023.
Right, so we had heard that there was going to be a delay. They kind of confirmed as much whenever they were doing the Modern Warfare 2 reveal trailers back in Summer Game Fest. They talked briefly about how there would still be premium content. Now Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg has unveiled that is likely to be Modern Warfare 2 premium content.
Love
what
the
that
premium
looks like.
content tag.
Yeah, I mean, so that's different than the way they've been doing updates so far.
Yeah.
Updates for the last few Call of Duty games have consisted of not map packs, but individual seasons that introduce a few maps, a few weapons, and then the new battle pass. What I expect we'll see here is season passes that also that carry in stuff, but on top of that, DLC for the single player side of things that'll tie in parts and also introduce new like levels and stuff. There's also been rumors that instead of a standard, well, not even rumors, it's basically confirmed by an NFL player of all things, who got early previews of the game the other day and then proceeded to tweet out straight up video and pictures.
They didn't know that this guy wasn't a game journalist.
Tagged it with hashtag COD partner, and I'm like, you signed an NDA. What are you doing? Anyway,
I got it for free. What are you talking about?
Like, yeah, guys, I'm out here with this NDA. Straight up Call of Duty. Here's all the details.
Here's my signature.
Yeah, and it's my signature and my ID in case you need
funny.
to verify.
Wait, who was it?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to look it up after the show.
I'm gonna find that.
Hey, you look it up while I talk. So there's a new mode called DMZ apparently that will take the place of the standard kind of like survival mode or whatever. There's a lot of interesting mechanics here at play. There's also going to be Warzone 2, or 2.0 as they're calling it, which will replace Warzone 1 shortly after the release of Modern Warfare 2.
Which Modern Warfare, the
yeah,
master,
2019's Modern Warfare,
whatever
is
that
the
is
one that
called,
introduced Warzone
yes,
to us.
right.
So it only makes sense that 2.0 would come out with this Modern Warfare 2. I'll be interested to see how that plays out because I think the big appeal that I got, or at least for me, that I got from hearing that they were going to delay 2023's Call of Duty game was that meant that Call of Duty fatigue.
It was a kicker.
Yeah.
It was a guy from University of Texas formerly. Cameron Dicker was. He leaked it. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
NFL Rams kicker now, former Texas Longhorn.
Dicker.
Dicker the kicker. What an incredible.
The kicker.
Yeah, that was his nickname on ESPN.
That's beautiful.
What an incredible story.
Brought to you by Dicker the kicker.
That's incredible. A kicker. You let a kicker leak that stuff? Like not even a quarterback?
You'd think they would confiscate the phones or something on the way in. Like, yeah, you got to sign this paper, and also I need your phone because I've met all of you. None of you can be trusted.
Like, no disrespect to NFL kickers. You're millionaires and you're a better athlete than I'll ever be.
Yeah.
But, like, you gotta have like the biggest. If somebody's gonna leak your stuff, like
You gotta assume that you're
let it
high
be like
enough
Patrick
status.
Mahomes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But
Sorry, I interrupted.
no, you're
That's
good.
very funny.
It's pretty funny. I lost my train of thought though. Oh yeah,
All
so
their
Call
premium
of Duty
content stuff.
fatigue I thought would be avoided by them not releasing a 2023 game. But if there's still just a ton of Call of Duty content coming
Yeah.
all the way through 2023, then what is the point of delaying the 2023 game if not to let the franchise have a minute to rest?
I mean, maybe it's just not anywhere close.
Probably not. And also, there have been concerns about studio crunch, and also several of their team groups have unionized. So Activision Blizzard's all over the place. And speaking of Activision Blizzard, we found out also from Jason Schreier that the planned mobile version of World of Warcraft has been shelved entirely, and the development team has been canned.
I feel bad for them. I don't care.
Most people don't.
Yeah.
Also, this has been in development for like 7 years. Well, 3+ years is what it said. But it's weird because I just can't imagine, for one, that there's an audience for the mobile version of that. I guess I would be wrong because I thought the same thing about Diablo. Diablo Immortal proceeded to make.
They're
much
about 5 years too late on this
Yeah.
because there was like a huge, and I even played it too, was so some of those Clash of Clans and stuff like that.
That kind of stuff
Yeah,
would have been the perfect time.
Yeah, I played a lot. Like my brother got into it, and he's not a big video. Like he played it on his phone. Like there's a certain type of user base that like, and those games, by the way, make tons of money. Mobile games make
too much
so much money, mostly because it's kids that get their parents' phone,
Yeah.
or you have to
and you
enter a
also-
credit card on iTunes or whatever.
It's been proven that the loops there are psychologically manipulative. And
Yeah,
also,
it's bad.
You're less likely to have an inhibition about purchasing something when it's at your fingertips. If you
Mm-hmm. So-
didn't know that, you probably buy too much
Like
stuff online.
you'd be shocked at the money. Like right now, pause this, come back, but pause this. Look at the money that Candy Crush has made, and you will cry. It is insane. But they're a little late on this. Like I don't know if it would be like. The reason that like Clash of Clans and stuff like that worked was because
It was a unique thing. at
yeah,
the
it
time.
was a unique thing, and it was also really cartoony. So like it worked on your.
It had the same kind of appeal that like Fortnite does.
Yeah,
where
it
was
worked like
just
on your
enough
phone.
of
Like this
both sides.
should work on your phone.
Right.
Like I feel like, I mean, you said Diablo, which is probably way more in depth, but like people love World of Warcraft for how deep
Yeah.
it is,
Well, and to be fair,
and how deep you can go.
this game was allegedly not a full-fledged like Warcraft port.
Right.
It was a game that took place in the same universe as World of Warcraft. It is unfortunate to hear about this, but this is just, we kind of had the same thing over in the film industry this week with the Warner Discovery merger causing massive ripples throughout that
That's a
company with the cancellation
whole
of
thing.
Batgirl.
Which was weird too. I was going to talk about this with EA. EA owns Warner Brothers Mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I think it's mobile, or they own the rights to.
They have the publishing rights
Yeah.
with them, I believe. I don't know if that's still like.
They bought them for a
continuously
while. They bought them a while ago for like $1 billion.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, the cancellation of Batgirl.
Yeah.
The
and
cancellation. Well, the Flash is still going on, but there was another.
it's gonna get canceled. I feel like
Nope.
it should.
They
It should.
spent $200 million on that movie.
They had already spent $67 million on the Batgirl movie.
I heard $90 million.
Oh, well, it's even more than that then.
Well, it's like a tax write-off. I don't know how much money you can get back
Which I
on
don't
it.
understand how you can
Write that
produce
off
something
like as
and
a
then
loss.
not release it and then write it off. But also, that's not enough money tax write-off wise to pay back the actors that were, because Michael Keaton was in it, Brendan Fraser was in it. Like it had a J.K. Simmons was in it. Like
Yeah.
it had a decent cast.
And it was going to tie into the DCEU, a thing that they've been
Yeah.
desperately trying to fix.
Which
But
she was also allegedly supposed to play a version of Batgirl in The Flash, and they cut that scene, which I think is the only reason that they feel
fine.
fine doing this, because she's not tied already.
there's a lot of stuff we're gonna on my movie podcast, One Take Pod, no free plugs, but we're gonna talk about
Link
this.
in the
We're gonna talk
description.
about this for about an hour tonight. It's the weirdest thing going on in Hollywood.
It's so crazy. But so this Activision Blizzard thing is going to result in the same thing. This is why mergers are dangerous for the consumer because we're losing out on potential product. Dangerous for the workers because like with the Warner Bros. Thing, reportedly there's been this looming threat of almost 2,000 people being prepared to be fired.
HBO Max today announced that they were laying off 75% of their creative workforce.
Which is about...
Or 70% of their creative workforce.
Yeah, which is about 400 people right now.
Right, and that's just on the creative side, like developing...
That's not talking about production.
Yeah,
or
developing new shows. The Warner thing is fascinating. They merged, AT&T bought, just for a quick rundown, AT&T bought Warner Media, which is like Time Warner Inc. and all that. They bought Warner Media, which includes HBO and a whole lot of things, Cartoon Network.
But they bid for a merger, not for a buyout.
Well,
in the end.
Yeah, and then so they purchased them, but then they said, you know what? Let's actually merge this with Discovery, which, if you didn't know, Discovery apparently has cash like that.
Yeah, well, so like a lot of the big names. So if you're from Waco and you know Magnolia, Magnolia runs on Discovery Tech.
Yeah, Discovery Plus, and so AT&T's executives got the main share of stake, and now it is Warner Discovery.
Yeah, it's Warner Brothers Discovery.
Warner Brothers Discovery, which that's weird.
Awful name.
Anyway, yeah, it's terrible. But anyway, they have
been Discovery
since
Brothers.
fired all of the people that basically came out with HBO Max.
Yeah.
There's a new guy in there that ran Discovery Plus that is now axing whatever sort of deals that they had or movies that he doesn't even like. He took like 5 movies that like they just owned. They just made.
Yeah.
He just
And
took them off the platform.
So the thinking there, this is completely off script here about all this stuff. I mean, we'll leave this in, or I might release this as a secondary.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's just fun to talk about. But it's the thinking there, from what I was reading in the articles that have been slowly kind of opening this story up, is that those movies, because they were never released to traditional video-on-demand streaming services where they would be pay to rent or buy, which they still currently are available for pay to rent or buy, could not make a loss back for production value, which they would not, like, they're saying that the HBO Max guy who came up with the plan for HBO Max, or the team that came up with it, didn't account for the losses that would equate from not being able to sell the movie independently for the first 30 days that it hits the mark when it's developed specifically for HBO Max, because they were planning of taking that value out of HBO Max subscriptions, but then there weren't enough subscriptions to offset all the movies that they did, plus they did those exclusive contracts to get movies in theaters on
HBO Max,
day and day, and it was bad. So
terrible.
I don't think that
Matrix
they're
didn't make
wrong.
any money. Space Jam didn't make any money.
Both are bad movies.
Bad movies. But
stop making bad movies, you'll make money.
They made a bunch of weird. The guy that ran it did make a lot of bad business decisions.
Yeah, well, they were panicking because of the pandemic.
Yeah, he tried to. And it was good for the consumer because we could stay home and just watch these movies, like whatever. So like people love HBO Max. Yeah. Not because of necessarily the content, but like people love HBO Max because it's just there. It's there to have. But also the reason that people love HBO Max,
it's the HBO content.
HBO content. They made the mistake of thinking that like a lot of people would download their stuff. AT&T gave it away for free. If you have AT&T, you like, which is like what, 1 billion people, you have HBO Max.
On top of that, Verizon also partnered with HBO Max as a secondary partnership, and if you bought a new phone the first year that HBO Max was available, you got HBO Max for a year. So they lost truly millions of subscribers availability immediately, because I don't know if you've ever gotten one of those year-long bonus things, but you cancel it after the first year if you only kind of used it, and a lot of people only kind of use it. But on top of that, the guy that's taken over with the HBO Max side of things from Discovery was also apparently furious that when they found out that bots basically forced Warner Bros. Into making the Snyder Cut. Something like 50 to 60% of the tweets and social engagement and emails were sent by bots. And Zack Snyder was apparently aware of this to some degree and continued to promote it as real fans asking for real things. Less than 10% of HBO Max subscribers watched the Justice League.
Which is like, no duh. Turn on your brains. People have like seen, like, has anyone ever been on Twitter? I guess not. I guess it's just me. Like
it's not normally that bot heavy for things like this, but like
no, I'm just saying that like if you spent 2 seconds on Twitter and typed in Zack Snyder at all, you'd be like, oh, a lot of this is fake. Like
yeah,
it just took 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, and you can tell. You would hope people don't actually behave that way whenever they're talking to other people. What the last thing though, before we move, we gotta move on. This will probably be cut, and I'll make this a bonus episode.
That's funny.
I'll send it to you. You can put it on one take. But this all started with Sonic. This whole giving in. This giving in. I wanted ugly Sonic.
You wanted teeth Sonic?
I wanted human teeth Sonic with his weird tiny hands, and you took it from me, internet. And luckily, I don't know if you've seen the Chip and Dale movie, but he's in that, thank God. But listen.
Ugly Sonic, what a funny bit.
When you give in to fans, as a fan of things, there's been lots of things that I don't like that they've done with franchises that I do like. But when you give in to fans, you create this vacuum for this nonsense to happen. And then you end up spending money on stuff that you thought would make money, but won't because it's bad, because no one was actually asking for it.
Most of the time, yes, Sonic did work.
Sonic did work because that was actually a bad design choice.
Yeah, that was gross. Ew. Like, why did you do that?
And they didn't test it properly with markets. But in this case, you were bamboozled, and most of the time, you're going to be bamboozled.
Okay. All new Pokemon trailer reveals a ton of new info about Scarlett and Violet. New Pokemon. The region is called Paldea. I was about to mispronounce that.
I was going to let you for a second, but
Legendaries are rideable. They're bringing that back from the last game.
Yeah, so this is a nice change of pace for Pokemon. I'm a big Pokemon fan. I don't know how much you've played any of the recent games.
Played
Sword and Shield?
I played Sword and Shield.
What about Arceus?
My wife played Arceus, and she mainlined it in 2 weeks.
Or Arceus, depending on who you ask.
Which she doesn't play a lot of, like I said, she doesn't play a lot of games. She will play Nintendo new releases.
Okay.
She really, and she's not an open world game sort of person, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, the most open world she ever did was like Animal Crossing, but which isn't.
Definitely not.
And that's what I'm saying. So like, this was like a nice change of pace for her, and she really enjoyed it. I need to play it because we purchased it for $50 and it's just sitting there. But I haven't.
It was good.
Yeah, Sword and Shield was a good, like, it almost felt like a mod of an old
game. And it was weird because I think for a long time, here's the thing. This is another example of gamers being wrong. I'm coming for you gamers every week, every uplink. As a gamer, I know you. I'm coming for you. But I think that what happened for a long time is that Pokemon's feedback was, it's the same game every year. Why do they keep doing the same stuff? There's too many Pokemon. And then they're like, oh, yeah, word, you guys are totally right. Yeah, there's definitely too many Pokemon. And for sure, we've been doing the same thing for too long. All right, in Sun and Moon, there won't be any gyms. We'll do trials instead, and we'll cut the Pokedex down. And then people were like,
why would you take my thing that I liked?
Gyms are so fun. I like the gyms. That's Pokemon. And then also, there's not enough Pokemon now. And so now there's over 1,000 Pokemon, and I still see people be like, bring back the national dex. I don't want to capture 1,000 Pokemon, guys. And also, what a balancing nightmare. Think of a fighting game. 30 characters is a lot to have to balance in a fighting game. 1,000 characters is too many characters to have to balance in anything.
Yeah. Once they got past the original, what was it? 130? No.
It was 151.
151. I was gonna say 131, but no. Once they got past the original 151, they jumped the shark.
Gen 4 was the last time that I felt okay with that.
Jumped the shark after 131. I'm old.
Okay.
I'm old. They jumped the shark. Give me back my original 151.
But so, confirmed details here. We did get some new Pokemon. Cetitan, I want to say is how you pronounce it. It's a land whale ice land whale. There we go. I know I could get there.
Land shark.
A new fairy type Pokemon called Fido, which is a dog made of dough and is adorable and adds to the list of adorable Pokemon announced for this game. But also it opens up a lot of questions that I don't think they're prepared to answer.
No.
What do they do with the dough? Can you eat
Fido?
Fido?
Can you eat the dog?
Are there guts in the Fido? All this and more on Pokemon.
Have you seen the TikTok account of the guy that's like, here's a Pokemon and here's how I would eat it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what went through my mind when I saw that, and I was like,
I think it's Good Mythical Kitchen to shout out to them. It's really, really funny. It's a Blastoise. I'd make turtle soup.
Legendaries being rideable is an interesting thing because it takes two things that we've previously gotten. The box legendaries are typically the last Pokemon that you acquire before you go to the Elite Four. But in this case, you're going to get your legendaries pretty much out of the gate because they're going to be an integral part of the world design. So if you've seen them, they'll be on screen right now anyways. But even if you haven't, you are now. Unless you're just listening, pay attention. I work hard on these.
You don't have to.
You don't have to pay attention. So there's two versions.
I'm saying you don't have to work hard on this.
But I will.
Okay.
It's a character flaw. One version, Miraidon is a. I'm gonna get these backwards. I know it. Anyway, the red one is kind of representative of the past. It has more of a quadruped sort of run cycle instead of when you're riding it, it kind of gallops like a horse. Right. When it's swimming, it moves its arms to swim. And when it flies, it uses wings that are on its head. The other one is more futuristic, kind of looks like a jet engine. It turns into a god-dang motorcycle whenever you get on its back. Akira style, you can slide and drift, and it's going to be rad as hell. Full-on jetpack stuff whenever you're up in the air, and then basically a motorboat whenever you're in the water. So a couple different interesting takes on that. The biggest thing announced, though, was, well, I guess that depends on who you ask. The biggest thing was the gimmick game mechanic this time. So every game for the last few games has had a gimmick. We had Dynamaxing in Sword and Shield.
Wild, by the way. When I played that for the first time, I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah, absolutely crazy. This one's got like shiny hats. It's called terastallizing. So it's the terastal phenomena, which is this crystal-like appearance. It does something interesting because on certain Pokemon, so every Pokemon in the game can terastallize.
Does it make him shiny? Do you get a shiny Pikachu?
No, but it does make them like sparkly. I don't know. Anyway, so certain Pokemon can, when terastallized, they have a separate type. They change types to their Terra type. So, for instance, they gave the example that normally an Eevee that is terastallized would stay normal type, but there are Eevees that you can catch from raid dens that will turn into grass or water type. So it's some interesting dynamics where you can be one type for most of the battle, and then whenever you
need it,
have a opponent come out with a weakness or whatever that's something you're weak against, change to that type by terastallizing and building a team that basically can not be countered in that way. So I think that it's a really interesting mechanic. It's basically Mega Evolution, but they're actually including everyone this time. The most interesting to me was the approach to the storytelling here. So you will be able to take on the gyms in any order. So there are gyms again. There's two other storylines that can be tackled in any order that you want that carry out their own narrative things. And you can fully explore the entire world, play the entire story, do all the gyms and everything with up to 3 other players. So it's 4-player co-op. This includes the Terra raids, which are to find those terastallized Pokemon of varying types. And so you get more unique gameplay out of this. What's interesting about the raids, though, is that this time you don't have to wait your turn to attack. Everyone can just attack pretty much whenever they want, which is nice. So you don't have to wait on someone who's put their Switch down for a minute, walked away while in the middle of an online component gameplay session. All right, what's this doing for you?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't watch the trailer.
I know. I added this before you got back.
Yeah, I know.
I forgot to add it earlier, and I was like, uh-oh.
New Pokemon is like, look, new Pokemon is always good. Like, you're gonna get me commenting on something I haven't watched, and the last one that I didn't play, I played 2 ago, like I said.
Yeah, but this is more a follow-up to Sword and Shield than it is to Arceus. They haven't really told us how the mechanics are playing out, so I don't know which version they're using, but it does look like all of the events that used to go to a separate loading screen or whatever, so like trades used to go to a separate screen, that all appears to happen in the hub world with you. So when a Pokemon evolves, you throw the Pokemon out and then they evolve in front of you. Yeah. Which is kind of more interesting to me.
I don't know, they continuously find ways to make the same formula a playable game, which they've been making Pokemon games for 30 years now.
It's enjoyable every time.
Yeah, and it's always enjoyable. And most people who play Pokemon are going to enjoy Pokemon.
Right.
But
I feel like anyone can pick it up and enjoy it for the most part.
Yeah, the open world, sticking with the open world thing is definitely interesting to and it's not, look, they're not the biggest worlds, but like.
Looks pretty big.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, don't. Okay,
but it definitely won't be like Elden Ring sized or anything.
Yeah, it's not like those things that we're used to, or even the gameplay length of Zelda. But it.
How we doing on time?
I'm about to have to go. We're probably going to cut this last thing, but more Pokemon's always good. Keep bringing me Pokemon, but I'm also tired of the card selling for $1 million because that's weird. But that's all I'll say about Pokemon.
I think it's going to be good. Gen 9's exciting. November can't come soon enough. Also, new variant of Wooper. I'm always down. Let's hit this last topic real quick. Dead by Daylight had a big showcase this morning.
We just went over that.
Yeah, we just went over that. That's right. We don't actually have to film this part.
Nope.
But they did also announce a separate game, a Dead by Daylight dating sim.
What?
Called Hooked on You. I didn't put this in the notes on purpose. It's a dating simulator where you try to win over the affections of all the murderers from Dead by Daylight.
What?
And I thought, when I heard the leak a few months ago, no, it was last year I heard the leak, I was like, oh, that's a funny thing that someone like put in like a file with the other things that might get leaked, so that people would leak something. They'd be like, oh, we know who leaked that. That was Tim. But it's a real game. It's a legitimately real thing. That we will definitely be reviewing for the channel. And so...
Dead by Daylight dating sim.
It's called Hooked on You.
Hooked on You.
It's good stuff.
What?
This is where we'll also put the ad break while he's...
Oh, this is going to do terrible things to the internet.
Oh, it's already done terrible things.
Oh, my God.
It's hurt me personally today.
Why would you make this? Oh, this is gonna be some bad like image searching too. Like
We'll have to record our other topic. We'll save our topic that we were going to record today for next time due to time constraints. As always, you can catch more Hardwired over on YouTube at the link right here, right there. It's somewhere. It's going to be on screen. You find it. It's not my job. You can also catch us over on kwtx.com/extra. Make sure you guys subscribe. We do this every week. We do lots of it.
For you.
Catch Weekend Warriors every Saturday. And we'll be back next week with more on your latest gaming news, reviews, and previews. As always, I've been Andrew Hamilton.
I've been Movie Ranter.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Royden Movie Tree.
Royden Movie Enjoyer.